Hey, I'm Summan Kandola, and I'm obsessed with coffee and cafes. In this series, we explore culture through cafe culture in Vancouver. Come along for the ride, and you might just discover your new favorite spot. We're kicking off this journey in Ethiopia, widely considered the birthplace of coffee. Finest Cup is an Ethiopian coffee shop dedicated to small lots of native Ethiopian coffee. Owners Dhillon and his wife Elizabeth invited us to experience a traditional Ethiopian coffee ceremony, a symbol of hospitality, connection, and community. To begin, Elizabeth invited my friends and I to sit around a beautiful table she prepared for us. She selected green coffee beans straight from Ethiopia and placed them inside a clay pot. The green coffee beans roasted in front of us on a burner, and she stirred them constantly for a consistent and even brew. As the beans slowly roasted, we learned the legend behind coffee's rich history. It's said a goat herder named Kaldi noticed his goats energized after eating red berries. Curiously, he tried them himself and felt the same rush of energy. Excitingly, he shared them with a monk who instantly disapproved and threw them into a fire. Until the aroma inspired him to salvage the beans, grind them, and mix them with water, unknowingly creating the first cup of coffee. Once the beans reached the perfect roast, Elizabeth took the grounds and poured them into a jebna. A jebna is a traditional clay coffee pot where she adds cold water and lets the coffee brew slowly. Once the coffee was ready, she poured the dark brew into small traditional cups without spilling a drop. Dhillon explained that because of Ethiopia's climate, Ethiopian coffee is incredibly diverse, with flavor notes ranging from fruit and citrus to caramel and chocolate. In true Ethiopian tradition, the coffee is brewed 3 times and always served with small snacks, like popcorn. Coffee's story continues as coffee spread across the Red Sea to Yemen, where it became the first place to cultivate coffee commercially. Yemen's favorable growing conditions helped coffee take root across the Arabian Peninsula, marking the beginning of a tradition that would span generations and cross borders, which brought our coffee journey to Mish Mish, a Middle Eastern-inspired cafe on Fraser Street that blends tradition with something unexpected. Co-owner Leah's shared vision with partners Abdullah and Marisol was simple: create a space where cultures meet and flavors collide. We learned that Middle Eastern coffee culture is a daily ritual as well as a gesture of hospitality and social connection. Traditionally, coffee is offered to welcome guests and the community. We started our coffee tasting journey with the halva latte, an espresso-based drink with sweet sesame. Then, the baklava cream top, a drink inspired by the iconic pastry. It's rich, layered, and topped with a spiced foam with notes of honey and pistachio. I had the flat white with their homemade cardamom essence. While traditional Turkish coffee is brewed by simmering extra fine grounds with water and sugar, here at Mish Mish, their cardamom essence allows you to add the same delicious flavor to your favorite espresso-based drinks. And just like in the Middle East, where coffee is rarely served without food, Mish Mish brings people together around a table with their fresh, mouth-watering flavors. We tried the kak bagel, a sesame-crusted bread traditionally sold by street vendors, which is unlike a Montreal or New York-style bagel. The kak bagel is flatter, crispier, and served with labneh. Labneh is a Middle Eastern yogurt that adds a cool, creamy contrast to every bite. Leah told us her team loves to take traditionally sweet ingredients and soften them to bring balance to the coffee experience. So, of course, after she mentioned that, we had to give the desserts a try, including the osmalai, a crunchy katafi pastry with a creamy milk filling, topped with pistachios and floral cream. And the coconut cake, which was unbelievably soft and the perfect pairing to my cardamom spiced flat white. At Mish Mish, we got to taste tradition that has spanned generations and created something entirely new. For a small window of time, Yemen was the only country trading coffee internationally through their port Mocha. The drink quickly spread across trade routes to Europe, where Europeans took mocha one step further and mixed real chocolate with coffee and called it a mocha. Stay tuned for our next adventures as we explore the rich and delicious coffee culture from around the world right here in Vancouver.